Hello everyone, this is POW Weather. In this update, we're going to be talking about a strong cold front that's going to bring a taste of fall for much of the country as I walk you through the next 7 days. So if you do like weather related content, please subscribe to my channel as I will upload daily updates to keep you ahead of the storm. So let's get right to it. Happy Friday everyone. This is September 17th, and what you're looking at here is the temperature anomalies this morning, and we got some chilly air filtering in parts of Canada here in the Pacific Northwest with a strong cold front that's going to be on the way, that's going to be impacting much of the country as we go through next week. And a lot of you guys are going to be experiencing your coolest temps of the season. So right now, these are actual real-time temperatures currently as of this morning, Friday. Yeah, we can definitely see we've got some chilly air up in Canada. We're talking freezing temperatures, actually. So this is a pretty formidable cold front, filtering into Montana with widespread 30s. Even Idaho is starting to get into the action in Wyoming. So there's definitely some chilly air behind this system. And a lot of you guys are going to be experiencing it here shortly. So let's take you through the next 7 days. Here's the setup for today. Yeah, underneath that, in the higher elevations, it's not out of the question. We couldn't see some snow starting to fly. But more importantly, the much needed rain start to come back for the Pacific Northwest. So they're going to be seeing their best rains they've seen in months today, and good chunk of Washington and Oregon, and that'll be sneaking into Idaho later on. We still got the remnants of Nicholas. It doesn't seem to go away. I mean, there's the low pressure. It's not a tropical depression any longer, but it's still a tropical low. And man, it's still dumping some very heavy rain in a lot of the same areas. So along the coast here, you're still going to be inundated with sporadic flash flooding at times down here into the southeast. And then along ahead of it, we've got that little cold front out ahead of it's going to bring kind of sporadic showers out here into the mid-Atlantic as well as the northeast. So let's take a look at the temperatures as we get into Saturday morning. And yeah, you can definitely see the cooler air. It starts to modify a little bit, but yeah, we still widespread 50s and 60s for much of the Pacific Northwest, and even 40s for much of Minnesota and Wisconsin. Still the warmer air down to the south, but eventually you'll start to get feeling the effects as we get in deeper of next week. So as we transition and look at the day on Saturday, the cooler air, we got another cold front coming in. That's the formidable front we're going to be talking about. Still, that more widespread rain filters back into the Pacific Northwest, creeping into more of Idaho now, into Montana. Even Northern California is going to get in the action with some rain showers. So that's definitely much needed for them. And yes, at the higher elevation, that's the mixed precipitation that you're seeing. It's not out of the question. You could start seeing some snow start to fly in portions of Idaho and portions of Montana. Out ahead of it, there's Nicholas. It's still hanging on a little bit as that low pressure just sits and spins and dumps very sporadic heavy rain at times. And yeah, along that modified cooler air filters in just kind of sporadic isolated showers activity at times. So as we transition into the day on Sunday, there's that colder air back behind that initial blast of colder air. Yeah, we're talking, wake up in the temperatures in the 30s, possibly in the 40s in much of the Pacific Northwest, and then, 60s and 70s for the central part and the southern part, southeast, as well as the mid-Atlantic states. Yeah, upper 40s for, southern Canada as we go into the day on Sunday morning. So as we look at the day on Sunday, there's that second initial stronger blast of colder air will filter in back behind it. We're seeing more sporadic snow showers starting to pop up in a lot of the higher elevations, and that'll start to creep in even into portions of Colorado as the rains will continue to be prevalent over the Pacific Northwest for those 3 days, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And those sporadic showers will start to creep into the midsection of the country as well, as that pesky low pressure system just kind of sits and spins again. I think the post remnants of Nicholas goes away, but still the low is still there dumping sporadic showers just along the coast, so they just can't get a break down there in those regions. As we transition into Sunday, that's when things start to get really cranking for a good chunk. Monday for a good chunk of the country. By the time we get in the 20th time frame, that colder air will start to sneak in into portions of Utah now, getting into Nevada, getting into northern portions of Arizona, as well as New Mexico. That'll start to creep into North Dakota with some 50s showing up. Still widespread 60s and 70s, well ahead of the front. You could get a sneaky little cooler air out ahead of this, but 50s is not that cool for that part of the country for this time of year. As we transition into Monday, what the setup is going to be, along that cold front, we are going to be kicking off some showers and thunderstorms in our northern sections into Minnesota. That'll start to filter down into portions of South Dakota, as well as we still have the activity down here in the south and southeast, with just that low pressure just kind of sits and hangs around still. As even if we get into the day on Monday, as we take a look at temperatures on Tuesday, man, you can definitely see where the cold front's going to be. It's coming. So we got the 40s starting to creep down a little bit further off into the southeast now, and even some really chilly air in the higher elevations in Colorado. I mean, even some 20s. I mean, this is a teen temperature at 19. So now, granted, that's pretty high up, but still, you can definitely see the push of colder air that's working along with it. Before it, you have what they call compressional heating. So it's not, not out of the question. You could be seeing some of probably your hottest temps of the season before this cold front arrives on Tuesday for portions of the south. So as we transition to where that cold front could be at by the time we get into Tuesday afternoon on the 21st, it's right along. It's already probably crossed Oklahoma by then. It's probably crossing North Texas sometime in Tuesday afternoon time frame, and that'll start to impact out ahead of it. You've got some rain showers and stronger thunderstorms out ahead of it into portions of Michigan here, getting into Indiana, as well as all the way down into much needed rain in Arkansas as well. I know you guys have been pretty dry in those regions. So as we get into the Wednesday morning, the 22nd, you can definitely see we got 60s showing up on the map into Texas. So that is a much needed welcome sight, and definitely your coolest temps of the season. Even widespread 50s in much of Oklahoma, Missouri, into Kansas, into Nebraska. You start getting further north, it starts getting into the 40s, if not almost the 30s, as you go up into the Dakota. So definitely some chilly air as we get into, ironically, the first official day of fall. So ironically, you get a taste of fall on the first day of fall, and that's what's supposed to happen, right? And so that's Mother Nature is cooperating. So as we go into the afternoon on Wednesday, there's that colder air continues to press eastward, and as it does, you've got some stronger thunderstorms as it taps into the warm sector out ahead of it. But back behind it, that chilly air will just filter into the afternoon. And by the time you wake up on Thursday morning, a good chunk of the southeast is going to be getting into the action. So you're talking widespread 50s for much of the southeast. So that is definitely going to be a welcome sight. Look at Texas. I mean, 59 in Dallas. Yes. And that's just Dallas, right? That's the DFW area. Some of those outlying areas could be talking mid 50s, even lower 50s is not out of the question. So you're going to be loving Thursday, right? You're going to be loving Thursday. You're going to be getting out walking the dog in the morning, going to be sitting out in the patio, drinking your coffee. You might even need a sweater. I mean, you might even need a sweater. But man, look at that. I mean, that's a good cold front, right? I mean, you're talking widespread 40s for a good chunk of the country, 40s and 50s. So that's definitely a welcome cooler air, especially what we've been through for summer as of late. So there's Thursday afternoon. You can definitely see where that colder air is going to be as that cold front continues to press. Now we're getting into the mid-Atlantic states ahead of that warm sector, with those stronger showers and thunderstorms for Thursday afternoon. And as we get into the day on Friday, we've got a reinforcing shot coming back into the Pacific Northwest for a good chunk of 30s and 40s. These are higher elevation temperatures, but still, yeah, you're going to be seeing that those, not only the rain this weekend, but 2 shots of cooler air coming in back to back for much of the week. So pretty much below average for much of the Pacific Northwest for a good chunk of the week. And as that colder air will continue, still 60s for Texas. So that's still nice. That is definitely nice, and that's definitely below average for this time of year, as that colder temperatures will continue to press into further off into the coastal region. So now even the Carolinas will start getting into the 50s. Okay, so yeah, I don't think too many of you guys are going to miss out on this initial cool front that's coming for much of next week. There's the colder air. You can definitely see it. It starts to press outwards as we go through the day on a Friday. And back behind that, that was 6 days from now. And the latest update from the Climate Prediction Center on their 6 to 10 day forecast, that just continues with that reinforcing shot in the Pacific Northwest to average to below average temperatures for a good chunk of them. And as that colder air will start to filter in south and southeast, just kind of near normal average temperatures. This is beyond what I showed you in that 6 to 10 time frame. And then that colder air will start fizzling out as we get deeper into a week time frame from now, and as the ridge continues to remain in place for the Northeast. And then the below average temperatures in Alaska, the Climate Prediction Center changed their map, and I do like the new outlook that they've come across, and it actually shows Alaska too. So you guys in Alaska will be really nice that they're not missing out on the forecast. And then yeah, below average precipitation with that above average precipitation for the Northeast. Here's the next 7 days. Yeah, there's the rains that are coming back for the Pacific Northwest and Northern California. Dry out in California, dry in the deserts, dry in Texas, dry out here out west. So this is basically a La Nina type pattern. Even though we're not formally in a La Nina, we're literally, they could make the call, because I mean, this is what a La Nina would start to look like. And it's starting to take shape in a big way as the southern jet continues to try to start to dry out and become less effective as there's cooler temperatures out here in the equatorial Pacific, as the polar jet gets more active. So that's why it pushes the precipitation further to the north, and that's why the Pacific Northwest gets back into the action of the rain, where they've been left out for the past 3 months. So that's that upcoming pattern change that we've been talking about for a good while now, and it's finally coming to fruition right at the peak of hurricane season. So that's why as we transition into October, I think really things to starting to light up in a big way. So I'm really setting up for a pretty big October, unfortunately for the Caribbean and parts of the United States as well. But before that, we've got some rain to deal with for much of next week, as that pesky low pressure system with the remnants of Nicholas is still around, and then that will start to creep up into with these initial cool fronts for much of the southeast, the mid-Atlantic, as well as the northeast. So I appreciate you guys watching. Do like this video, definitely leave your comments below, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel to catch the latest update where I protect you before and after storm.